Today, I'm cooking with wine. Sometimes I even put it in the recipe. Well, yes, I'm gonna put it in the recipe because today's recipe is Coq Au Vin, chicken and wine, braised chicken. Oh my goodness, are you gonna love it? Hey, if you ever cook with wine, if you ever had cooked maybe Coq Au Vin or anything with wine, let me know, put it in the comments. Tell me what you think about it. Let's talk about it. I'd love to do that. And definitely be sure you stick around because I've got so many tips to share. We're just gonna have a wonderful time. So right now, let's go ahead. I'm Chef Don McMillan. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started. We're gonna cook some bacon. Oh my goodness, look at that. Put that bacon in there. You know, when you get that bacon cooking, it's gonna smell so good. My friend Justin Wilson used to say, if you want to make somebody mad at you, just cook some bacon and onions and don't give them any, because it works every time. Come on, cook up. Yeah. So we're gonna brown off our bacon, and we're gonna use the bacon fat to cook our vegetables. Oh my goodness, yes, let's get it going. Okay, look, that bacon is cooked perfectly, nice and crispy. Ooh, so nice. Let me get it out before it starts burning. We don't want anything to burn. Put that in here, because we're gonna put this back in the pot when it's done, okay? Gotta have that bacon, yeah. And so now, we've got our oil in here. I'm gonna go ahead and cook my leeks. And as soon as the leeks cook for just a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and cook the mushrooms too, okay? So, we put the leeks in here. Now leeks, we had to wash them really good, so be careful. There's a lot of soil in there. You gotta wash it out, okay? But let's go ahead and put this right into the hot grease vat. Yeah, get it in there. All right, let's get this thing cooking now. You don't need to cook it for about a minute. Get a little flavor going in there. And we are using the tops and the bottom of the leeks, okay? Leeks are very mild, have a good flavor to it. This is one of Julia Child's favorite recipes, cooking with leeks. Her leek and potato soup was her final meal. If you didn't know that. Also, she was the one who told me about cooking with wine, by the way, all right? So she inspired my cooking with wine. I have a glass, like I said, every day, and sometimes I even cook with it. I can smell these leeks just perfuming the atmosphere here, just heating it up, going really good. They're starting to soften up. And while that's going on now, I have my mushrooms. So we chopped up all these beautiful mushrooms, and we sliced them. And the reason we wouldn't slice them thin, we don't want them to disappear in the dish. We want them to be there at the beginning and the end. Let's go ahead and put them in there, and I'm gonna show you a little trick, a little tip that chefs like to use. We wanna sweat our mushrooms. To make them sweat, put a little bit of salt on them, okay? Just a little bit, you don't need much. So we're gonna go ahead and sweat our mushrooms, and they're going to be nice and juicy here. The flavor is going to come out and really add a lot to our food, as well as the moisture is going to start evaporating. So before all that happens, we're going to take them out of the pot, and then we're going to brown our chicken a little bit and then put them right back in again. And then we're going to let them swim in some of that wine. Yeah, cook it on up. All right, that's what I'm looking for, just a little bit of moisture. Out they come. All right, we don't want them to disappear. If we cook them too much, they'll just dissolve into nothing. And we want to see those mushrooms in there, because this is a traditional Coq Au Vin dish, and we are using leeks. Sometimes you'll see that they use the little baby onions. That's cool too, okay? If you like those, I'd say go ahead and use them as well. All right, time to season our chicken. Salt and pepper. Such an easy thing to do, salt and pepper, right? I like to season my chicken just before I cook it in the pot, because I want all those flavors to go ahead and be in there. Now I'm using chicken thighs. As you can see, I removed some of the fat, some of the skin, not all of it, and I left the bone in there, Okay, so I've got that little center bone in the chicken. That's because the bones, when they cook up in the sauce, oh my goodness, they're just going to throw off so much more flavor. And we're just going to cook that chicken until it falls off the bone. In the pot it goes. We're going to brown up our chicken. Get it in there. Yeah, come on. Join the crowd. There it is. What? One little piece. Boom. And there it goes. All right. Now, go ahead and brown your chicken. We got this on high, medium high. Want that chicken just to brown a little bit. When it browns, little bits and pieces are going to come off the chicken. They're going to stick to the bottom of the pot. It's going to form something we call a fond, F-O-N-D. And when that happens, that's just more flavor. And we're going to put some wine, break it up, add those vegetables back in, and let these babies cook. Look at my chicken. Look how nice and brown it is. Okay? That's what I'm looking for, that kind of color. So I love that color. I want it to be on both sides. And now that that's happening, we're going to make them even more happy. Look at this. See them leeks? See them mushrooms? All that juice that's in that pot? In there go. In they go right now. Oh man. Going to do this thing up right. All right. Let's move them around in there. So we had a good coverage. Yeah. Look. Now we're going to use some red wine. Same one I was drinking with. I told you, Julia Child said, never cook with wine that you don't drink. And you saw I had a glass earlier, right? Okay, good. Here goes the rest of that wine. Put some of that in there. Yes, indeed. Let it simmer. Yes. Now, let me just see. I'm going to scrape a little bit of the bottom of the pot. All right? When I'm scraping the pot, what's happening, I'm scraping those little bits and things out. And that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. All right. And now, we use red wine. Now, if you got some white wine at home, go ahead and use it. I would suggest that you try using a dry wine or maybe a semi-dry wine, but I prefer not to use the fruitier wines, okay? Those have a lot of added sugar in there. You would have a sweet dish, and I don't want any added sugar. Okay, now, see how that is? I'm going to put some bay leaves. We have some fresh bay leaves. We have a little bay leaf bush out back. Put those in there. Turn it down to a simmer. Let me see. It's barely touching the bottom of the pot. Okay, and we're going to cover. And we're going to let it cook for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to have some really good coq au vin. Okay, our coq au vin is just about done. We're going to just make it just perfect. You saw me checking the temperature. You want to cook your chicken to at least 165. That's so very, very important. You can get a little higher, that's fine. And as you can see, juices are just flowing in here. Just, oh my goodness, the aroma is killing us. But that's okay. So now I noticed that it's just a little bit of a thinner sauce. If I wanted to thicken it up, you can do it like this, it's fine. I made a little roux, very simply, 50% oil and 50% flour. I'm going to put a little bit of roux in there and stir it up, and that is going to thicken up so quick, and it's going to make it so perfect. Okay, so now our stew is nice and to the thickness we like. I'm taking out these bay leaves as I see them, and I'm going to just put my spoon in here and a little taste, see if it needs to have a little more salt, a little more pepper. Oh man, just a touch, a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. Yes, indeed, this is going to be quite a meal. Wow, this goes great if you want to put it over maybe some noodles or some rice or some potatoes, any way you like it. It's going to be great. Now we are going to finish it off in style. Look at this. Bacon. That's that bacon we cooked earlier, man. It's gonna go right on top. Just place that crunchy crunch. That's why I saved it. If I left the bacon in there, it wouldn't be so crunchy. And we love crunchy bacon, don't we? Get it in there. Come on. All that bacon. And this is it. So, it's perfect, I think. It's really delicious. It's classic. It goes good with a glass of wine before, after, and I even have it during. But, you know, that's another story. Anyway, You know, our recipes are just wonderful. We want you to subscribe to our channel. We want you to like us. If you have comments, please leave them below. The recipe is below as well. And as always, when you're cooking with Chef Don, it's exactly easy and delicious, simply delicious.